Greetings one and all. Welcome back to my kitchen here today, where I am going to be making a really good Friday special. I'm going to be making a hamburger, but in the Aussie style. So an Aussie style works burger, but in no way is this going to be what you consider a gourmet burger. It's going to be a retro burger, something nostalgic from my past, going back to way back to the 70s when I was growing up. Something we get down our local milk bar, and there's nothing wrong with it, believe me. And I'll show you what I mean. So it just goes to prove you can, not everything has to be gourmet and expensive. You can make a really nice little treat, even using a couple of canned ingredients. All right, let's get on with it. I'm going to make my patties first, because I do want to form them and just let them sit in the fridge for a while. And I'm making enough for about 4 big size patties, so, and I mean big size. So that's 500 grams of beef mince. Now I'm going 50-50. I'm going to add same amount of lamb mince. Now both those minces, or ground meat, as my American friends would call it, are not low fat, fat reduced, whatever you want to call it. They're the full deal. And that's important because that's going to keep our patty moist dish without, like I say, we're not going to add a lot of other ingredients. What I am going to add though is I've got a tablespoon of dried mixed herbs. Going in a good dash of salt, same with some white pepper, 1 egg, get him in there, and that's it guys. That's simplicity itself for my patties. So I'm just going to mix that all up, get those herbs thoroughly, an egg and seasoning all mixed through my mince or ground meat there, and get the try and get the lamb and the beef sort of, so it's a good 50-50 of each. So I'll get on with mixing that and I'll get back to you shortly. Alrighty, so I've thoroughly mixed that ground meat up, the mince, herbs, salt, pepper, egg, and don't know if you can see that, but I sort of just roughly, not very accurately, but just roughly divided that into 4 for our 4 patties. And I mean, the obvious thing we're going to do with those, like I say, it's going to be quite a generous size patty. Absolute clean hands as always. It's just kind of gently form it into a patty shape. Now the thing is, with these retro style hamburgers, they weren't really into the big, thick, like we get now, juicy, half rare in the middle sort of patties like we enjoy now. And don't get me wrong, they're delicious, and we'll be doing some of them on our channel, don't worry. But this one, I'm just going to get it slightly flatter to help still make this a really good experience. Now I'm not going to make it totally flat. I'm pretty happy with that sort of thickness. Try and get it sort of reasonably evenish, like so. So that's it, sitting in the palm of my hand. I'll do 3 more of those. I'll get them on my plate here. I'll cover them up, and I'm going to sit them in my fridge for an hour or so. So, like I say, I'll finish them off, get them in the fridge, and I'll see you in about an hour. Alrighty guys, time to get on with cooking and assembling my Works Retro Aussie Burger. Now, my memories of these being cooked in the cafes or the whatever the fish and chip shop. They'd have one big sort of flat hot plate, and they cook. They'd often have heaps going at one time, but obviously I haven't got that, so I'm just going to utilise 2 fry pans. This one I'm basically just going to be cooking my patty in and a bit of onion. The patty, because I was quite generous with the size, and maybe that's not authentic, but it's going to take a little while to cook, so I'll get it going first. And I'll just cook that on a medium-high heat. And toss in a bit of onion. And what I might do is transfer that over to that hot plate, so I can, when I get up to showing you the next step, I'll be closer to the camera. Then I do this one-handed without burning myself. Voila. Alrighty. Now while I've got my patty, my onions cooking away over there, next onto my, into my fry pan here, I'm going to put a couple of slices of bacon. Probably being generous again. Probably most of the milk bars I went to, you'd be lucky to get me maybe 1 slice like that. Two if you're lucky. And I've also got a piece, first of my tin fruit here, of tin pineapple. Now the thing with that is some of it comes really thick, and if it is, you need to slice it in half. You don't want it really, really thick. That's a good size. About that size. Put that in as well. So I've just flipped my burger over, and what I'm going to do now is just grate a piece of cheese on top of that while the other side cooks. Alright guys, now the last cooked element I want to add is just 1 egg. Now the idea with this egg is get the white nice and cooked, but we want the yolk to stay a bit runny. Alrighty guys, I've turned the hot plates off. It is time to now assemble our Aussie Works Retro Burger. Retro Aussie Works Burger, don't know, I'll work out the title soon enough. Now, I did toast these buns off screen. I don't have to tell you how to toast some buns, just under the grill, or the broiler, as some Americans would say. Now layer 1 for our retro is we must have shredded iceberg lettuce. Has to be iceberg, guys. No fancy lettuce leaves, no fancy baby spinach, blah 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 blah. Got to be the real deal. And there's a sort of, I don't know if it's logical, but sort of by default a good thing comes of that, is that stops the bottom layer of our burger getting too soggy. The iceberg sort of almost acts like a sheet. Next, I'm going to add my tomatoes. Just a couple of sliced tomatoes. Then I'm going to get my burger with the cheese on it. Sit that on. Pineapple, grilled pineapple. Now, of course, all Aussies know this. Essential for an Aussie retro burger is some tinned beetroot. I've sliced beetroot. That is the business. Let's get some bacon on that. Some cooked onion. Now just give that a bit of a pat down, like so. Now last thing I'm going to add is my egg with the runny yolk. Nice and burnt around the white bits of the edges though. We definitely want that. Now the reason I put the egg on last with the runny yolk is when I put this top layer on and push it down, I'm going to push it in such a way that when that yolk breaks, not all of it, but some of it's going to get soaked up in that top layer. But before we do that, we do have to add one more ingredient, and that's our Eater original barbecue sauce. My Aussie friends will be very familiar with that. If you can get it, go for it. No fancy squirt things on it. This stuff's half the price of your fancy foreign brands and all that. Don't worry about them. This stuff's to go. Alright. Next thing I need is a plate. Actually, I'll put salt on that. I don't care how much salt is in the other stuff. I've always got to put salt on eggs. Some cracked black pepper. Get the lid on it. Alrighty guys, as you saw, I've assembled that. I have started giving it a squash down. You can see some of my egg yolk running down there. You need that. You've got to have runny egg yolk, my friends. And once we squash it up, it becomes, let's see, semi-manageable. But don't expect not to make a mess. Don't expect it not to drip everywhere. I'm going to take a huge bite, if I can. And that, my friends, I don't know if there's such a thing as perfect, but there is such a thing as nostalgia, and that really takes me back to a really good retro Aussie works burger. And man, I cannot wait to sit down and devour the rest of that, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. So thanks for watching. Thanks to everyone who has subscribed to the channel. Really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed yet, can I just ask you to hit that subscribe button? That'd be great. If you don't want to, no worries. And I will see you all next time.